Hello and welcome back to part 3 of the Sonic Unleashed LP. We are now in Spagonia.
Europe.
And I'm sure Chris is going to spend the entire part looking for the sexy lady in the leopard print dress.
Well, I do focus on her a little bit. I'm glad you mentioned her.
You sexist pig, Christopher.
Look at all these little shops. Look at all the detail.
Look at them.
Oh no!
It's the same guy. It's the same dude. Sorry, I got scared.
You should have. He's gonna keep following us too.
Oh, thank you for this. Oh, you gotta break everything here too. I'm just kidding.
No one can have nice things. Holy shit, this guy's got a long head. Sorry. That's
it's
mean.
the reverse of Hey Arnold.
That's rude, Chris.
That's headist.
So for this Spagonia, as I said in the last part, we have a live accordion, a live wood bass, live drums, and two live Macaferi guitars.
Wow, that's more than one. They really did go all out on this one.
Dude, Rooftop Run Day has 3 violin players.
How do you wait? Where are the credits for this? Where are you getting this?
If you'd listen at the last part, Stephen, I said I'm looking in the booklet that came with the Unleashed soundtrack.
That was on purpose. It was a recap.
I'm not dumb. Fuck you.
I'm not dumb. You're dumb. Oh, here he is.
Yeah, here he is. Oh, it's Donald Trump, everybody.
Oh my god. I don't care that the world broke into pieces. I expect you to be in work.
Hi, what's up?
A few things.
I feel bad for this tiny little girl of whom I know nothing about. Please give her gifts for me as I travel around the world.
This
really
isn't creepy
weird.
at all, I swear.
It's weird. That's who the businessman is. Also, beautiful. Love me some global illumination. Does anybody know what that actually means? Because I could talk about that, unless you want to talk about something else.
No, please explain what it... I think I know what it means, but I'm not dumb. I'm just reminding you.
That's like the Minion Studio being a worldwide media presence, right? Illumination?
No, that's the Mario movie. That's not Sonic.
Isn't Global... Steven, this might be wrong, but isn't it a way
I
where
want to hear what you think about it.
Isn't it... Well, isn't it a thing where they can make...
Wait a second, that's Doug. That's fucking Doug right there.
Hey, everybody, how's it going? Doug.
Go on,
That's
Gareth.
horrifying. Isn't it weird they can use the lighting to reflect off things? So like when Sonic's on grass, it can make like his shoes reflect like a green tint.
Yes.
Is that kind of what it is?
Basically, global...
That guy looks like Jason Griffith. I'm sorry. That guy looks
Yeah, he
like
does.
circa 2008 era Jason Griffith, and I love that.
He's a very
Before he started
intense
getting
look,
some
too.
gray hairs. Oh, Gareth, you and I are really
looks
close
good,
to
though.
getting some of those. In about
Dude, why
5
do you
years.
think I shaved my hair off so you can't fucking see it?
Yeah, global illumination basically means things aren't just lit by lights, but they are lit by the environments themselves as well. What are you doing? Well, no, this is perfect. Keep doing that. I'm going to talk.
So, before you said it, Stephen, do you remember the first time you and I went to Entom's house and we played Unleashed, and I think it was Rooftop Run. I'm not sure if I have footage of it. I might have it somewhere. Well, I just crawled for the entirety of Rooftop Run.
I don't remember
It's
that.
It's
I need
Dora the
this footage.
Explorer. Let me check my heart. If I have it, I will send it to you to splice in. But
Okay,
yeah,
but Steven, talk smart to me.
Please tell me you get that moon medal, because it's right in our face. It's right in our face. Go get it, Chris.
Okay.
Oh, he did it. Okay, global illumination means that light will come from a light source, but it will also bounce off the objects onto other objects, just like it does in real life. So if you were to take a piece of white paper on a sunny day and place it above like some grass or something, the bottom of that paper will be green because light is bouncing off of the grass onto the bottom side of the sheet of paper. And this game is trying to do the same thing. And I think it's one of the first games to ever try that.
looks good.
Oh my
it
god,
looks pretty
it's the
good.
meme cutscene.
Chris, I'm gonna say I'm deeply offended you didn't just rip off my fucking Seinfeld version of this cutscene they use in the LP.
I thought about it.
What did
Chip
he
is
do?
so weirdly in shadow here. It's very dark.
This little gag here where he becomes a ghost. I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
It never played, just to be honest.
Maybe it's funnier in Japanese. Like maybe there's like a pun there.
Maybe.
Let's ask Miwa.
Miwa. She said she'll get back to us.
I have a question only a professional Japanese can answer.
She said, shut up, nerd boys. Okay.
Stupid piss baby.
The introduction of the mouse electric.
The tablet as big as Tails.
Which I remember, Chris, when you and I went to go see fucking Thor 2. It's like, it's the fucking
Not
mouse
only
electric.
did we see Skylar,
We saw Skylar and Natalie Portman saves the day using a mouse electric.
what a great movie.
I've never seen Thor 2. What are you talking
You
about?
ain't missing much. It is probably the worst Marvel movie.
Well, the only Thor movie I saw was Ragnarok.
And that movie's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
That's probably the way to go on that.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Steven, for watching that
it's
movie
the,
for us.
oh, look, it's the thing from Harry Potter.
Oh, I love the
the
golden
snitch.
snitch.
He's also in England, which is Europe. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, there's like 5 European countries just kind of like rolled into one here.
Which-
It's like,
which-
yeah, this works.
Yeah, it's interesting because Unleashed would like take like tiny areas of the world, but Europe, just take all of Europe and smash it together.
I will say it's very, very accurate to London. We do just have random grind rails in the sky. So in that aspect, they got London perfect.
That's how you get around,
Well,
right?
technically, aren't those
Exactly.
grind rails for the carts, the electric carts?
Ooh, I have something interesting about Generations. In Sonic Generations, when you play through what's it called? Rooftop Run.
Yeah.
In this, okay, so in Unleashed, when you're playing on Rooftop Run, you can see like the city beneath you, and it's all geometrical. It's not just one big flat surface. But in Generations, it's one big flat surface which you're grinding over or running over when you're like up in the air. However, beneath that flat surface is all the geometry from the first game, which is like, why is that there?
What?
Wait, so they basically they dropped the original map and then put a texture over it?
Basically the original geometrical map that is the back, which is I say background, but it's underneath you while you're in the air, like in those really high sky moments, like on the tower. Usually you'll see like a bunch of geometry beneath you, but in Generations they put like a big flat surface just to like save space on polygonal count, but they still kept the polygons underneath that flat surface. So it's like, what is the flat surface doing there?
Oh,
Annoying Stephen.
Sorry.
Apparently.
It just bugs me.
Isn't that like in 06 where in like say like the boss levels they load the whole rest of the hub world?
Yes.
Yes.
Now we're in
I mean,
Africa.
the very small few of you who understand what I'm talking about will get it. Sorry.
I don't understand English, but I get your frustration. Spagonia? I love spaghetti.
Spagonia, I barely know her.
Boo.
It's gonna take a lot to drive me away from you.
This guy's waving at me. Let's not talk to him. Yeah,
Let's
just
kill him.
kidding.
Yahoo.
Clummy acting really strange.
So the only live instruments in this track are it's percussion and a bamboo flute.
Ooh, exotic.
And the track is by Fumi Kumantani.
Kumatani.
Dude,
Miss her.
she was tight with the good Sonic tracks. And it's, I think, Colors was her last game?
Yeah, she did the cutscene music, and then she's like, nah, I'm good.
I wonder why she left.
Because
She was always my
Sonic,
favorite. I don't know. I tweeted June being like, hey, do you know what happened? And he was like, yeah, she's doing good. And that's all he said. So I was
That
like,
is,
okay,
that is my answer.
that's my answer.
I wonder, you know what? I don't think he responded to it, but when we were driving down to Sega and Sonic Fan Jam, we were listening to some SA1 tracks, and of course, for some reason, the fucking options menu is called Funky Groove Makes You Hot. And so a bunch of us just tweeted at June Sonoy, Funky Groove Makes You Hot with no context. And I don't think he's responded, but I'm hoping he's blocked all of us. Look at that shadow, man. Look at that fucking good shadow work.
No, I don't want to look at it.
Shadow isn't in
Steven,
this game.
He was gonna be before the game came out. They had, you know what? This is
Look
a
at that
problem.
good shadow. His foot doesn't have a shadow, Garrett. Look at that good shadow work. You fuck you.
Look at I forget Chris. Who was the real one and who was Skylar's fucking imposter? Is Ken?
Ken was the real one.
Ken Barlow, who was he was head of like digital, I think, for Sega. He really spearheaded. He was like the face of Sonic 4 Episode 1. There was an interview before the game came out where he confirmed Knuckles and Shadow were in the game at some point, and obviously they're not in the game at all. But it's I think it's a thing where if they were going to be in the game, and I'm sure at some point they were, because there's always cut content, story content in these games, they most likely both appeared in what's
Empire
the
City?
America level? Empire City, because there was exactly 0 cutscenes in that hub world. So it's Smart Money says that it was probably Empire City that they both appeared.
Also, Empire City.
Which-
That's
Empire
why he's
City also
fired.
doesn't have a Gaia thing in there. It's like there's literally no plot relevance for Empire City to be in the game.
Which is why, and I'm sure later on in the LP we'll make bigger comparisons to it. But that's why Empire City was just completely removed from the Wii version.
That's
of
a
course,
bold statement about America's place in the world, but I can get behind it.
Which also because this isn't like a Kyle Hebert thing in Generations, where his at the time voice actor for Big is in the credits for Generations, but it plays nowhere in there. Of course, Shadow's voice actor Jason Griffith was voicing Sonic, and Knuckles' voice actor Dan Green is in the game. He plays Professor Pickle. He plays Ice Cream Man. He's all over the game in kind of incidental roles. So they're disclusion from the game doesn't really you wouldn't, unless aside from that one stupid interview, no one would even think about Knuckles or Shadow being in this game. Well, that being said, and something I wanted to bring up earlier, which when the notion of the werehog being out of place, this is again another notion that everyone has fucking said over the last 10 years. But if the werehog was Knuckles, I know I personally would have warmed up to it more.
Yeah, basically.
Because, I mean, it is weird how they invented this new character where you literally already have, the fighting freak Knuckles was already in the franchise. So
And there's Rystar, so, like, what are you doing?
I guess because they really want to do like you said with Rystar, they want to do the stretching mechanic, which is basically just because they want to copy off God of War, and Knuckles' fighting style wouldn't really fit with God of War.
Can we sort of do maybe a sort of pseudo role play of the think tank at Sega on trying to develop the werehog? Can we try to get inside their heads and why the fuck did you get a werehog?
Okay, fellas, here's what we need to have a character in the game who fights real good. Sir, we could use Knuckles. Get the fuck out of my office.
Well, we have...
How about if we have, remember Chaos? People seem to like Chaos. Okay, I like where this is going. And if you remember, Chaos Zero had stretchy arms, sir.
Great idea. Let's put him just in one cutscene.
And it is a plot point where it is the kind of the energy of the Chaos Emeralds in fact. No, actually, no, it's not, because it's fucking Dark Gaia energy. So
it doesn't even giving them too much credit. They don't know that.
I am. I'm like
they
that
don't
doesn't
know
even.
that.
We want him to have stretchy arms, and because there's not enough furry porn of our characters online, so let's draw fucking werehog.
Not enough.
I loved. At this point in time, there wasn't, because TV now was only a few years old. I loved one of the
Guess we're done with that segment.
Well, again, Steven, it's like I honestly love. I'm sure you've seen, Steven, all of the a lot of the kind of concept art of the werehog. I love the one.
I haven't.
This is one bit of concept art where he's just covered in fucking gold chains and a backwards cap. It's like, what the fuck?
That's amazing.
And look at all
Poochie
this
the
fucking,
werehog.
look at all this fucking just sprites used for grass. Fuck you, Hyrule Warriors.
I just added you in Discord, Steven, if you'd like to see that.
Yeah, I see it. Oh.
I really like the very hairy Warhog.
Where he's basically a yeti.
He looks ridiculous. I like the one where it's basically Scourge but with a black arm.
Well, this is all that. Okay, Chris, put this in here as we're talking about it because this all looks like it's the same artist though. So I feel like this is all just one person's idea.
Well, I'm sure, like, they say, like, Silver went through 150 designs, but I'm sure that was only done by...
a pretty bad one.
Well, it's weird, but I'm sure most of those 150 were just done by a handful of people, so I'm sure Sega, like, everyone do 10 designs for the Werehog, and we'll pick one.
There's 150
Or
Or
more
more
to
to
see.
see, to be a Werehog master is my destiny. Okay,
Good night, everybody.
Did the Werehog battle theme have to stop for 20 seconds just to play it again in this section?
Yes.
Okay.
I just want to know why they went with the Werehog. Like,
The only reason the only serious reason I can think of was that at this point there had been complaints from reviewers and fans of too many extra characters and what have you, and so I'm sure Sega were like, we want to have this fighting character, but we can't just use Sonic.
But they
if
had
we
a chip.
Well, no, like, I mean, he's not playable. He's not playable on any level. But I'm saying, like, if
And
it's,
we
I'm
already
sure
have
Sega.
Knuckles.
I know, but I'm sure Sega. Wait, but he's an extra character, so I'm sure Sega were thinking, let's just keep it Sonic, even though he's branded as a different character. The Werehog is still Sonic, which is their loophole to introduce a new gameplay mechanic, but keep it as just playing as Sonic for the entire game.
I guess.
It's not a new character. It's Sonic with a talking sword.
Dude, I love that talking sword. Don't you dare talk shit about Caliburn.
He's a good talking sword. I heard he's voiced by Carrie Elwes.
I know, right?
Oh my god, shut up, Chris. I fucking hate you so
I
much.
get that joke, but I don't have to.
Before the game came out, there was a lot of rumors
Chris,
that Kerry Ellis
what are
was.
you
He did it wrong. You're supposed to have it, like that.
Oh, okay. Let me fix that on the fly here. There's a lot of rumors that the dude from Princess Bride was voicing Caliburn the sword,
Yeah.
which I propagated in our Black Knight LP for like 3 parts, which is over half of the LP.
I hate you so much.
Look, this is great gameplay.
think-
Like, you got to see the first new player experience here. This is riveting.
This is so boring.
Every frame has so many things going on.
Fuck you, Rick Berman. So Stephen, so
What?
I'm gonna assume. So I'm going to assume you don't enjoy the Werehog platforming.
It's okay. Okay, I have a fun analogy for you. The
Ooh.
only time I've ever enjoyed American football is while I was drunk, and I feel like maybe that says something about American football. Maybe it doesn't. But the only time I've ever enjoyed Werehog levels is when I'm drunk or high. And sometimes I'll just do one or both of those things and just play Werehog levels to upgrade my Werehog.
Oh yeah.
See, in a similar vein, the only time I enjoy American football is when it's rugby.
That's not American. I get it.
Oh, I died.
I like how Steve was like, wait a minute. Oh, wait, he caught me out. Okay. Fuck you. Fuck you. I ain't dumb. Fuck you.
I may be an idiot, but I'm not stupid.
I may be goofy.
What are you looking
God,
for
look at how good I
now?
am at video
God.
games.
Christian, what are you trying to do here, man?
He's trying
Look,
to
there are
get us.
collectibles to be collected.
Chris, wait. I haven't been paying attention, but are you getting everything in this game?
Well, yeah. I mean, we got to get all the Comic Gate points.
Shut the fuck
So
up.
you are. So Chris, confirm or deny you're getting everything in this game. That's a
Sorry, you cut
confirm. That's a you're.
I can neither confirm nor deny I am doing. Chris, I forget.
No, there's
that
already some things I've missed. No
Yeah.
worries.
Chris, serious question, just because I forget. Are you showing off the DOC stages?
No,
Oh,
Okay, fair enough.
Good.
I was never that good at all of them.
You
They're
you
not
could
that interesting. I don't think they are.
That too. Like I still might include that one open Shamar level, just because everyone wouldn't shut the fuck up about that. But I don't want to include like the hard mode for every stage.
the,
You know.
the one where you collect all the chow.
Oh yeah.
It is, it is weird to go along with Unleashed having the biggest budget. It's just still the only game to have any sizable DLC. I mean, yes, 06 had a bunch of like hard mode variations, but whatever. Unleashed is still the only game to have extra level content DLC. If we don't include Lost World, but I think wasn't that a co-production with Nintendo? Those DLC stages, or did Nintendo just allow them to use Yoshi and Zelda?
I believe they
I'm
allowed
not sure
them.
we ever really knew.
Either way, which I think a lot of people were like, because the level packs were like $3 to $4, and from what I understand, like none of the levels were 100% new. A lot of them were just built off, kind of like the extra
pieces.
stages in colors. They just kind of use existing level structure and just move things around,
Set
creating
pieces.
levels. Yeah, set pieces basically.
So I'm just gonna say this now, just to see how many people type a comment before watching the whole video. But Forces did have episode Shadow, but we're not going to count that for this discussion.
Also, episode Shadow was a day one DLC, so that's only really a half count.
And also, Episode Shadow was completely free as well.
I am not
But-
weak.
But you know what? But in terms of Episode Shadow, that did have original music, cutscene, and voice acting, where the level stages would just kind of like they're almost like a fan edit level crazy, Like I can kind of understand some people being like, "Why am I paying for these when there's nothing like 100% new in these level packs?"
What I would have given for more story content for Unleashed, though.
Wait, you mean like things to be explained? What do you mean by more story content?
I don't know, shit with the villagers, probably. I'd like to see more of them.
Oh, so you want in addition to, not some,
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
not
like
to
more
ex-
of that.
not to
I don't
explain
necessarily need more
loopholes
dark guy
or-
shit.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it's like I think at this point in time it's been too long, and whatever they say, I don't think would please everyone or anyone. But at this point
This
in the game,
game, no.
because they include there's such a big point of the story. I was expecting somewhat a backstory of the Chaos Emeralds in this game, just because so much of it is.
Hold on.
is
You're opening up a really big bag, Gareth. Do you really want to go there?
I was just going
no,
to say I
well,
wanted to see the
Steven,
Ghost Girl get into the
Steven,
game, but that too.
Steven, as I was saying that, I think if Sega tried to do that now, no, I don't care now. But 10 years ago, I think because at this point the Chaos Emeralds hadn't really been used. This is the most Chaos Emerald heavy story in the entire franchise.
It
After
is.
they go into all these temples, and I wasn't expecting like a big thousands of years ago Jesus created the emeralds, but I was expecting like maybe just like subtle hints.
Ooh, nice,
In like
Chris.
Speedrun
in like
strats.
each temple,
Well,
No, it
it's,
took you 5 tries.
well, what's interesting about it is like in SA1, that was the most lore we ever got about the Chaos Emeralds, is that they were used to seal a creature off thousands of
Yes.
years ago. But now it's like, oh yeah, the Chaos Emeralds are used every couple millions of years to bring the
If you get all
planet
the
back
red
together.
rings, they just appear on the map.
Here's the thing though, like I hate to be a fanboy about it, but it's like Chip literally said like the Chaos Emeralds are used to bring the planet back together every million years or so. So it's kind of like whoa. The Chaos Emeralds are that old, so what? How are they made? Sorry, that's alcohol.
Also, how is Eggman the first person to cause such catastrophic?
No, he
The
made
first
it-
person to
no,
be
he
like, "Oh,
made it
let's just
happen
use this
early.
shit."
He made it happen
Yeah.
early. Pay attention, Chris. This
Yeah.
will be on the quiz.
Okay, yes, sir, Mr. Steamed Almond.
No, but no, I'm expressing frustration because I hate all of this lore. Like, stop it.
And you also probably hate that you care about it, right?
Well,
'Cause that's where I'm at.
yeah, me too. I hate that I care about it because I shouldn't care because it's dumb.
It's a jumpy video game, and sometimes they talk.
And that's all it should be. Like, not once have I ever cared about the lore of Mario because not once has the game ever introduced itself in that manner.
Galaxy came
Sorry, I
somewhat
suck.
close with all the backstory of Rosalina, but in terms of Mario's character himself, yeah, they never. It's just I'm just like fucking.
Let me jump
at what
around and
point?
have fun.
At what point will Mario just stop caring if the princess gets kidnapped? Because I'm like, Jesus Christ, Peach, how many fucking times I gotta do this?
I think
Chris,
Odyssey
I'm gonna-
2 is the most story I ever want in a Mario game in terms of like character and shit like that.
Chris, I'm gonna say that was on you because I've noticed a bunch of times the reticle will pop up for you to grab onto a ledge and you just aren't pressing it.
No, I have something to say about that. I've only ever played the PS3 version, and the inputs are late on the game.
Yeah, sometimes the reticle does appear after.
It gives you a reticle.
I'm going to say that was me, but sometimes that does happen.
Sometimes it gives you the reticle, but it doesn't give you enough time to respond to it, especially when you press the button and the game says, well, the reticle's gone by now, even though it's still on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I can pull some pretty cool shit off with the Werehog sometimes. Like, again, that's me, but yeah.
Chris, it's called editing.
Yeah, Chris, if you die one more time and just speed it up and put a funny bit of music over it, I'm gonna punch Stefan.
Well,
If I was doing this, I wouldn't have died all those times.
Bullshit, Chris! Stefan, go back and watch fucking Mighty Number 9. You fucking died 1,000
Sonic
times.
Unleashed is not Mighty Number 9.
They're the same fucking game. They're both made by Inafune. They're both just
guys,
Mega
look
Man
at the timer.
ripoffs.
It says 000. We haven't been here that long.
All that for a fucking moon medal.
Okay,
Yeah, man.
Chris, I want to know your opinion on what could be versus what is.
Okay. Hit me.
This game versus what it could be.
Oh.
What the fuck kind of question is that,
Chris,
Stephen?
what do you think this game?
So would you like this game to be better? Yes or no? Well, yeah.
What
I
I'm
want this
saying
game
is-
to be worse.
I'm just asking you guys to use your imagination.
Imagining a good Sonic game.
There-
Well, again,
I
They
think-
put in so much effort into it, and yet it's still lackluster. How do you put
Also,
in this much
Can I
effort?
basically approach this question like, if you could realistically alter things in this game and not change too much, what would you do?
well, Stephen,
Sure,
that's
why
what.
not?
So when you say
Okay.
when you say make it better, are you saying like take the game as is, but just say things like the control are better and like the combat is more fun to play, or are you saying like change major things about it? Like what parameters are you setting for us?
Well,
and then what would we do differently?
I just don't want to get
That's-
too cheap with the answer and be like, oh, well, if it was completely different.
That's what I
'Cause,
was
like,
asking
am I-
Chris. Like, does he want to
am I
change
more
a
I-
few things? Does he want to change everything?
In my more ideal Unleashed, like, the Werehog levels would either be half as long,
Yeah.
or you'd at least have more interesting platforming sections.
So you're taking what already exists and changing those things.
Yeah,
You
because
wouldn't-
I'm
you
quite
wouldn't change
fond
things
of...
drastically.
Yeah, I'm quite fond of the world of Unleashed. I'm quite fond of the base ideas here. Like, when the stretchy arm shit with the platforming works, I really like the way that feels. I think there's not really any other game that feels like that. So to me, that feels like a waste to not capitalize on that more than this game did.
Because also, I mean, I think if you change Unleashed too much, then it stops being an Unleashed and it becomes a new thing. So I think it's more a question of would you want to improve Unleashed or would you have wanted a brand new game, type of thing.
Yeah, and I'd rather see Unleashed improved because I do
Same.
baseline enjoy this game.
I generally speaking, I like Unleashed. There is just a handful of things that if you were to somewhat improve, you would have a 'cause I think again. So many people love the daytime stage, but even I have a few issues with how the daytime stages work. But I mean, there was definitely a framework for an amazing game here, which some people would argue, as is, the game is amazing. We don't speak about Stefan.
I mean, this is my favorite Sonic game.
Okay, so then to go off on that, Stefan. So what about let's say.
I'll say to Unleashed credit, I can see why you would say that.
Well, yeah. Again, I don't think this game is bad by any means. But let's say something like. Let's
I don't think this game is bad.
let's just take Unleashed and Colors. Okay, so I think. So you enjoy Colors, Stefan, don't you?
Yeah, I think Colors is fun. I don't love it as much as everybody else does. I just think it's like a decent game.
All right, Tracker.
That's
I know
fine.
Gareth is trying to make a point, and I want to interrupt him so bad, but make your point.
Okay, well, no, I'm just saying, but like about like, so is do you say when you say Unleashed is your favorite game, is that including everything, or like do you detract points from say the nighttime stages, from the overall product, or do you think the nighttime stages are as good or better than the colors regular stages?
I feel ultimately for me, when I say favorite, I don't think it would be like say quality. Like I don't know where Unleashed would fit in terms of based on colors in terms of like what's an overall better game. But in terms of what game I enjoy and have the most fun with, it's Unleashed. Like even because I find the Werehog levels and just like his gameplay itself, I think it's pretty fun. Like there are some problems with it. Like yeah, some of the stages go on a bit too long, and the combat at first feels a little bit too like stale and dragged out.
You also like hyper realistic Mr. Mime, so I can't trust your.
No, I don't. I don't like hyper.
But
I know what you mean, though.
but-
Like
but-
Sonic Adventure is not the best Sonic game, but it is by far my favorite Sonic game.
I think why I tend to say colors is because I think as an overall package, there's very little fat in that. It is just from start to finish pure Sonic adventure, and for the most part, it's really fucking fun. Which I think there's some things like say SA1, SA2,
was that?
Unleashed, where there's just like there's. I think if you were just to look at if Unleashed was just the daytime stages, I wouldn't agree, but I can understand people being like, this is the best Sonic game ever made. But it's just I think I personally I tend to I have to look at it as an overall package, and just while I don't think the nighttime stages are terrible, I think they do bring down the overall quality of the game.
Oh, guys, I think I got the wear clap.
And ultimately, I think it's not just because it's not just like the daytime stages. Why I love it so much. It's everything else. It's the overall aesthetic of the game that I think like all the like you mentioned, all the detail they put into it, the world building, like the story. I think all of that comes together to make the most what's the word effective the most effective experience
Cohesive.
that like. Of any Sonic game. Like it feels you get the most out of anything. That even
Let's continue this discussion in part 4.